Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's video we are going to talk about Pokemon Booster Box historical data. So what is the channel about? And I'm quite new in YouTube, and so I thought maybe just introduce the channel a little bit. So this channel really explore everything and anything about Pokemon TCG, but focus more on products and the financial aspect, or to some people we call this the investment side of the TCG game. And I'm a longer term investor on sealed product. Most of my collections are booster boxes. So but I just want to caution anyone who's watching the video that I do not provide financial advice. So whatever information or sharing that I have on the video, please take it as entertainment, or if it makes sense to you, maybe you can make a decision. But most importantly, if you are going to invest in anything, not just in Pokemon but in any other investment, please do your own research, and everybody's situation is different. So what makes sense for me may not make sense for you, right? And I try my best to make sense of what I see in terms of data, and this channel focuses a lot on data because I'm a engineering background guy, and I like numbers, I like facts. I don't like to make decision based on feeling, how I feel. So yeah, so this is what the channel is about. I don't flip, and I don't really deal with singles, so yeah, don't expect much information about those things from me. And the videos that I'll be uploading will be quite raw, because I don't see the value in making fancy animation or adding effects or things like that in my video. So first video, today we are going to be looking at historical data and how we can make sense of those data to really quantify gain in booster box price. And my end goal actually when I started doing this was to set a reference, if we can, so that we can really have a more informed decision when it comes to whether we should buy, hold, or sell any product, specifically on sealed product and booster boxes, right? And also we always hear people say that all booster boxes will do well, but is that really true? And do they do equally well? I mean, most of us know that definitely not. Everybody knows the Team Up and Evolving Skies in the more recent few years, and also Surging Spark, one of the more recent ones, does so well compared to the other sets. So how do we actually tell them apart early enough so that we can still get our position before it's too late? And what we also hear a lot from the other channels focusing on investment was that usually if you really want to make sure you make good money, if you listen to Rudy, if you listen to many other channels, they will say that you would expect to hold for at least 5 years for the to see results. So this first video was also focusing on checking whether what they say makes sense, and whether 5 years is enough. Then if 5 years is good, then why not 10 years, right? But there are also other channels, other YouTubers who say that we should sell when we start seeing gains, right? Why not sell them when we can realize the gains? And there are also people who say sell some, keep some. So which one is right and which one is better? I think that is the thing that we would like to explore today. So what you will see very soon are data from pokedata.io. It's a website where you can get a lot of data, but with subscription, quite affordable. Available data only from 2021, so it's about 4 years worth of data. And I have extracted data from X and Y era all the way through to Scarlet and Violet, which I will show you, and I will share some finding I have. And I also found that it probably helped to interpolate some of the data for older sets, because we only have 4 years worth of data from 2021, and so some of the sets from X and Y was almost 11 years old. So I have to interpolate some of the data, but because it is interpolation linearly, it may not be very accurate, but I think if we have the start and end values, it shouldn't be too far off. Yeah, and the data is limited, but I think that's what we have, so we have to make do with it. And one of the more important data that I show in my Google Sheet later is the gain loss per year, because that's what most people really cares about. How much money are we making each year, and whether it really makes sense to invest in Pokemon seal product. And the calculation that I do actually already accounted for 15% of platform fee or processing fee. So if you sell it face to face, or you don't use any other platform, you have your own website, so you may gain slightly more than what you will see very quickly. So just quickly show you where I get the data from. So I'm subscribed to this website, pokedata.io. So how do you use this? You can go to seal product and go to, if you click on booster box, filter by booster box, you can really just look at all the data from way before. But I only looked at, I think it was XY base booster box onwards to the most recent set. So let me just quickly show you how it looks like. So once you come here, you'll be able to do this. If you are a subscribed user, you'll be able to see all the historical data. So all the way from 2021 to the more recent data. So I extracted all the data. So here you will see two different color. Red color are the interpolated data. So for example, XY base, because it is so long ago from 2014, the booster box price after 10 years is about this value, and after 9 years is this, after 8 years is this. So but we do not have all this available to us. So what I did was I just did an interpolation based on the assumption that after 2 years, where most of the booster box will be out of print, they will probably reach the MSRP. This is just a very simplistic assumption. Some of them definitely will not. For example, team up will probably be much higher than this, but I don't think it makes a very big difference in terms of how we use this data. But these black ones are actual data based on pokedata.io. So this will be quite reliable. Over here you also see, I'll just use an example. So for example, Cosmic Eclipse, I don't think most of you are interested in knowing how I do the calculation, but for some of you who just want to check that I did the right, maybe you can help me check as well. Maybe I calculated anything wrong. So what I did was I just take this booster box price minus 120 at release. This is just an assumption, $120. You will probably be able to get it cheaper than what I get, because this is 120 is probably close to what I normally get, usually about 115. Recently it's going higher than that. So I don't have access to a distributor. If you have, then it probably be cheaper. Or if you are in the US, then usually you are able to get it cheaper than what I normally get. I'm based in Singapore, so the cheapest I get from my wholesaler is around 115 American dollar. So basically this minus this, and this is just taking into account how many years has passed, and that will convert it into a gain per year number. So how does it work? So for example, if let's see this one, Celestial Storm, after 4 years, 33.18% gain. That means you just take this number, 120, you multiply by a gain of 33% after year 1, and then you compound that on the second year, third year, fourth year, you will arrive at this number. Right? This why do I do this? Is because I wanted to also compare this to the other investment form. Like for example, S&P is what a lot of people invest in, myself included, even in Singapore. So you can see that in the last 5 years, the return is about 16.7%. So of course this year was crazy, so almost 40% gain. But historically, it was never that high. It was creeping upward more and more and more. So it was 12% and then 15. Last 10 years, last 5 years was really high, 16.7, very good return. Yeah. So but you can see very quickly, once I've interpolated all this data for the other sets as well, and then I also took an average of the different years. So for example, the first 2 years, I don't expect them to make any gain at all, because usually they are still in print. By the way, this booster box after 2 years, it means with reference to the release date. So for example, so that means booster box after 2 years, it doesn't mean that they are all at the same time. So for example, after 2 years of this release is 2016 February 1st, right? So on average, 13% after 2 years, but these are actually skewed because of some of the very high performing sets like Cosmic Eclipse or Evolving Skies. So I actually took out some of them so that it doesn't look too rosy. And some people may be, asking me, hey, well, you say that we're going to make like 15% even after 2 years. How is it that I don't see gains like that? It's not really very realistic unless you are always able to get very hot product at very good price. So for example, Surging Spark right now, if you can get it, you can still get it at 120, then I think you will probably make a lot of money, isn't it? But most of us, we don't have access, or we cannot time ourselves that well. So generally, if I remove all these super S class, I would say, set products, Evolving Skies, Cosmic Eclipse, and Team Up as well, then you look at the average number. So after 3 years, when the product is out of the printing window, when the supply really dwindle and the demand of some of the set really picked up, that's where you will see most of the set goes into the profit territory. So except some of the not so well performing ones like Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles, they are still negative. That means they are actually still losing money, but it's below 120. But if you get it cheaper, of course you will still be making a little. But the interesting thing, the first major observation I see is that after 4 years, you see that almost everything, it's not almost, it's exactly everything goes into profit, including Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, or the earlier ones. There are also sets that are not so good, like Steam Siege, Sun and Moon Base. So after 5 years, 6 years, 7, 8, 9 years, we continue to be making some gain every year. So of course, again, some of them, they don't gain so much, like Crimson Invasion, 6%, Sun and Moon Base, 9, 10, 11%. These are all relative, of course. We are comparing it to a very high performing products. Even the average is very good. So because I just show you that S&P average 16.7%, that means that if we are really in long term, meaning we hold our product into the at least the 4, 5, 6 years region duration, and if we really invest in good sets and even some of the bad sets as well, even if when I include all the bad sets and I remove all the super high performing product, we still outperform S&P. So I think this is the reason why many YouTubers in Pokemon investing, they really swear by Pokemon investment. I think this is probably the reason. Will this ever drop? I'm not too sure, because this so far, because I don't tie it to a particular year. This is for example, booster box after 7 years. If you look at the release date, they are all different. So it is across a big time period. It's not just based on a particular year. You may say that, oh, 2023 was a booming year, this year was crazy, you know, the COVID year was crazy. But the beautiful thing about this is I'm not tying this to any particular year, so this is spread across. So you can also say that this is taking into account that we are not so skewed by the market condition. So I think this is actually quite realistic, at least as of this moment. You can say that maybe 2 years down the road, you know, Pokemon may have done something that make everybody angry and lose all their fans and nobody wants their product anymore. So it could happen. Yeah, but based on the last 20 years, I would say, how they perform, I don't think that's very likely, right? Okay, so let's go back to this. So I think very interesting thing that I observe and I would like to share is that really almost all booster boxes increase in price after the third year of release, you know, especially after 4 years, if you include the not so good product. And if I remove all the outlier very high performing set, we are averaging about, or at least the booster box is averaging, not me, no, not we. The booster boxes are averaging about 17.8% gain per year. And if we include, and for example, if we are able to get the sets early and get it at a good price, we are even expecting about 22.5% per year of gain. And the really, really good set, the outlier sets, I would say, like your Team Up, your Cosmic Eclipse, your Evolving Skies, they can make almost 40 to 60% per year after the third year, and it doesn't slow down. Let me just show you again. It doesn't slow down. For example, if you just look at Team Up, third year, fourth year, fifth year, it's all 70, 60, 60%. It's very, very good gain. Same thing if we have Cosmic Eclipse, 50%. No, let's go back one more year. Even at after second year, it was already gaining 81% per year. And after 3 years, 50%. After 4 years, after 5 years, very, very crazy gain. So if you are able to identify this one as well, Phantom Forces from years back, very, very good gain. Right, let's get back to this. So good sets can gain a lot, and bad sets only turn profitable after about 4 years and gain around 10% or less per year. So so if you remember at the beginning of the video, I was saying I would like to form a reference point for my own investment so that I know, you know, when should I sell, when should I hold, or whether I should buy some of this products. So I think if you look at the average gain of 17.8% gain per year after 3 years, I believe that is a good reference point. Why? Because if the product I'm holding is not making this number or even close to this number, for example, if I am holding Vivid Voltage, I'm holding Battle Style, I'm holding Steam Siege, and they are making only about 10% a year, I mean, it's still a good number. But if you compare to what you can gain by investing or buying the newer set at a good price, which is likely to gain about 17.8% after 3 years, then I think it makes sense to sell those not so good product and invest and or buy the newer ones at a good price. So then of course the current market is really difficult because we couldn't, at least for me in Singapore, it's very difficult to get product at a good price right now after Surging Spark, after what happened to Surging Spark. So yeah, so we'll see. But I think this is from this exercise, looking at the data, I think this is one of the good things that came out. This number will change, of course, because every year this number will change depending on how much people are willing to pay for older products. It may go up, it may go down. Yeah, but I think at least this exercise gives me a tool to look a little bit deeper into the historical data and make sense of some of this thing. But I think the more important question is, if we only know whether we should sell, buy or hold some products after 4 years, is that I don't think that is good enough, because most people would like to know before we invest in something, before we buy something, what are we getting ourselves into, right? Are we buying something that we end up losing money? Probably not in Pokemon, but everybody wants to invest in sets like Evolving Sky, in Surging Spark. So how can we identify good sets earlier? So I think that is something that I will work on in the next video. So I hope you stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you have any question about this, about all this data, if you spotted anything wrong, let me know. So I have actually done quite a bit of work just to check that I didn't make any mistake, but I'm human, I could be wrong. And yeah, the next one, let me just quickly show you as well. I also did this. So after the interpolation and everything, I took the booster box price after 3 years and I just rank them this way, from the highest price to the lowest price, and just give them some random numbers based on gain per year. Yeah, so anything above about 50%, I give them an A plus, and these are the A set. And you will see that a lot of them are older sets, because the newer sets usually are printed a little bit more than the older ones. So we probably will not see such kind of gain. This is my opinion. I'm not sure. You may disagree with me, but I don't think we will see such high gain in just 3 years' time for the more recent sets, because the Pokemon Center International, they are printing so much more compared to the older sets. And here the middle sets, I'll say the B and C are the average ones. I don't think they're bad, but if you compare to these ones, they are not as good. And of course we have the last group over here, which are the ones that still losing money. This one barely break even, Darkness Ablaze, after 3 years. So I think you can agree with me that these are not doing so well. Crimson Invasion as well, yeah. So there are more work to be done. So the next thing I will do is I'll try to see whether I can find any way or reliable way to help us identify which are the better sets, hopefully within 6 months of release, or even 1 to 3 months of release. Are we able to tell which are the sets that are really going to go to the moon, maybe not immediately, but at least in 5 years time, 4 years time, which is what I expect myself to be holding. That would be it for me. So if you have any question, feel free to leave it down in the comment, and I hope if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, and thank you so much.